You might be
Alright,
part of the intro, though. What do you think, buddy?
I was gonna say, yeah, we're doing the intro right now. I'm the introductor, Pixel Doctor.
I am Fexic doing daddy things with Killian.
I am third in line Deadlock.
I am the one that's remembering old anime, Haruka.
Yeah, what was it? What were you just talking about? That we ended off on last episode that people won't see for another day?
Something
Yeah,
VHS advertising.
Oh yeah, there's a thing you talked about in the one draft video.
Yep, I absolutely love it. Like it's a series which, on paper, you'd think it'd be just a normal mecha series, but it does it has nice twists and turns that allow it to really be interesting.
You don't know how long it took me to find good footage for that draft
Man,
video.
I couldn't help you with that. I'm sorry.
What draft even was that? I don't even remember.
Video game OST, because there's a video game for it.
No, that wasn't the one.
No, Dragon.
Yeah, you weren't even there.
Yeah, I think it was Dragons.
Yeah, Dragons. That video came out alright.
It did. I enjoyed it.
I gotta make a template overlay for the next one, for the OST one. I've been trying to work on it, but this week's been busy for me, so I haven't really had much time.
Oh, that's fine. You know, life happens.
Yeah, it certainly happened this week.
So you were a good boy today, buddy. You gave Daddy about 2.5 hours to work. Then again, you did get up kind of early.
Wolf's Rain, which was a fucking depressing series.
I was like, I watched that one intermittently, but I remember the beginning and I remember the end, and I remember like I have missed probably some heavily contextual things here.
Yeah, it's also horribly depressing.
Sometimes you need that.
It gave me Elfen Lied vibes by the end.
I have not watched that.
Definitely
okay.
Watch something before, like watch a slice of life beforehand. Like invest some time in like Azumanga Daioh or Lucky Star or Sergeant Frog or something before you watch Elfen Lied. Like do yourself that service.
Yeah.
Sorry with that, I let my dog in. Alright, yeah, no, when I saw this,
buddy.
Let me explain. So I told Chris in between that we did encounter Examon the first time, but let me explain what I was expecting. I was expecting, him to be like head at the top of this building, like hand on top of the building, like to show that he's just standing on the ground and he's like skyscraper tall. He's definitely big here, but I don't get that same sense of scale with him like back like that. So I feel like he's not as tall as this building.
More of a scale because him being farther back actually makes him look bigger.
I was gonna say, like the tip of his Pendragon lance isn't even touching the skyscraper you're on.
Well, to be fair, you can't exactly see it
Well,
for the most part.
You could argue it's going past the skyscraper.
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm saying.
could, but it looks more intimidating in my head if you consider that the point hasn't reached you yet.
I just think it just wasn't what I expected because of how I envisioned him. I think he looks a little smaller than what I think. He's definitely big, don't get me wrong, but what the fuck are you?
Oh, 来たか。待ってたぜ。さっさとあのデカブツを片付けるぞ。
Oh, Rada,
stop being evil.
Don't worry, we'll either save you or you'll die tragically, because it's always going to be one of the two.
Like, at least in his case, you got to watch, like, his descent to this point.
True, he was doing pretty good up until, like, the actual change, though.
Like, up until Suedo started fucking with him, he was perfectly okay.
Yeah, and honestly, Suedo messing with him really didn't. I feel like really didn't get him until like the last two interactions.
Yeah, but then they also gave him a Caramon to partner Digimon, so you had to have seen where this was going.
It's kind of unfair when they gave him the Infernamon as a partner Digimon.
I mean, you say that, but those Digimon have also been very absent since.
Oh, thank you for the hugs, buddy.
True, but as far as I know, he could have absorbed them, but it doesn't really. He's not beating the evil allegations right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's if anything, supporting them.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, Rada. You were doing
That's what
so
we get,
well,
like,
and I thought you were actually going to be like not be corrupted at all, and I was going to be like, yeah, he's beating the stereotype, but he did not beat the stereotype.
Well, then that
No.
just throws back to subversion of expectation.
True, I expected him to beat the stereotype, but he didn't, so it threw me off. Sometimes doing the expected thing is the unexpected thing.
To be honest, I sometimes prefer it when they do the expected thing and they don't like do the plot twist 5D thing. Some things pull that off really well, like Metal Gear Solid pulls that off really well.
Still haven't played those games.
I'm kind of looking forward to Delta Snake Eater. Not gonna lie.
I had a
no,
feeling.
definitely.
I had a feeling that you guys would like that one. I already had it on my wish list on Steam because they had like put it on Steam a while ago, but that was like the first trailer I actually saw for it.
Yeah, I like because
from what it seems to be, it just seems to be Snake Eater, but
Just
with
enhanced.
graphics.
Yeah,
of,
just enhanced.
Not PS2 era.
yeah, which I'm perfectly fine with. I've gotten the Shadow of the Colossus remake both times they remade it. So
That's why there a lot of games from when we were kids are getting remakes that are mostly just digital enhancements.
I'm surprised Tomba of all things.
I was about to bring it up but there's a lot of retro games that are getting it. It started off with the popular ones, Spyro and Crash and such, and now it's spreading to more, which is nice.
Also, now you got the Thing.
I saw that. I didn't think anyone was going to be interested in that, so I didn't post it.
No, I absolutely love that game. That game's actually like top tier.
You were the only
Like,
one that I
it's a-
thought
So
might
there
have,
was
but I wasn't sure.
I forget. Was there a new Dragon Age in amongst your drops?
Yeah, there's the new
Yes.
Dragon Age. It looks like Fortnite.
I don't know about that because I haven't seen it, but that sounds like a dramatic.
The trailer style is very similar to what I would see for a Fortnite advertisement.
Oh, reminds
Because
me.
because AJ's been holding her breath for a new Dragon Age for a while now.
I say that reminds me. Did AJ see the two video I posted for Greedfall 2 and fuck? What was the other one that I know is on her list? There's something 2. I forgot what it was. Kingdoms of Deliverance 2. Because I know they're both on her list. I just didn't know if she saw the.
I think if we started watching the one for Greedfall 2, her only gripe with Greedfall 1 is you couldn't, it didn't give you an option to change the control layout.
That is odd.
Yeah, because she's, I forget what exactly the smaller gripes were control-wise, but I know the big one was it didn't give her the option to invert her y-axis, which is something she always does and, cannot do without.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to see how they play off of it.
Yeah, that's one of those things, if I'm gonna do something on one of her accounts, if it's a game like ESO where they have daily giveaways, that's actually a thing. If I have to do anything additional that involves me moving her character, it always throws me off that her y-axis is on an invert.
So she has her
Wait, what?
controls. She has her controls inverted on the Y.
Whoa.
Only on the y-axis though. Her x-axis is fine. It's just the y that's even.
I would say that would throw me off too, actually,
Why?
because that's what she prefers. I guess.
Well, the fucked up thing is at some point that became alien to me because I grew up playing Time Splitters, and Time Splitters inverts the y-axis by default. You actually have to go and Time Splitters invert makes it normal by other game standards. And at some point between my early adulthood and now, inverted y-axis has become alien to me, and for the life of me, I cannot tell you what it was.
There are a lot of games that did have the inverted control. I couldn't tell you why, but oh my god, please.
I mean, I remember playing Jak 2 a while back, and it's oh god, why do these turret sections have this? It made them so much more difficult than they should have been.
I gotta say, I'm not exactly sold on the new Perfect Arc. I'm glad we're getting a new Perfect Arc. That's really nice.
It warms my heart so much that Killian actually has fun being startled.
But
I could jump out behind something and say boo, and he'll just fall on his butt and laugh.
That's a good thing.
also, yeah, I really do hope that Dark Deity 2 they do something with the body sprite, because my biggest problem with it is that there was some unique models, and then if you promoted, it's the same body type across all of them.
See, kind of like this, but actually, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. How he's positioned like this, except, you know, gracefully.
So does that put him more into scale for you?
Yeah, that actually does help him. I still expect him to be a little bit bigger,
He's
but
got a very
this
strong
works.
neck.
He's got a very strong jaw, but he's got very poorly rendered teeth.
I mean, either way you slice it, if you bump into something like this out and about, a heart attack's gonna kill you before the fucking Digimon does.
I'm pretty sure I don't bump into something like this out and about. I'm pretty sure it steps on me.
Yeah, like, it's basically a digital nuke. There's really nothing you can do to stop an Examon.
Well, I can't talk about it being a digital nuke because all I see is its lance. So I would need to see it to actually like attack something.
One of them, I think it's Pendragon's Glory, is it actually shoots like a shining plasma explosive laser out of the lance tip.
I definitely saw it because definitely used it in the Digimon draft list, but I need to look at that again because I don't remember.
Mm-mm.
I will say this, having looked at the Assassin's Creed Shadows thing, the ninja part of it looks great. I'm still wondering...
Yeah, like Naoe's playstyle looks right up my alley.
Yeah, no, and she's got Kusarigama, which is always nice. I'm really glad that they did that.
And it looks like they're basically splitting up the gameplay styles into the two different modes. Like you kind of have like the more older Assassin's Creed style with the ninja, and the more like recent Assassin's Creed style with the samurai dude.
Samurai, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is,
so we got Naoe. Yeah, we have Naoe repping the old school, and then Yasuke reps the more recent games, or the style of them anyway.
Which I guess it's good because then I can hopefully ignore the new playstyle. Like, not even just for him. I just actually don't like the way that Assassin's Creed's been developing.
Fair enough. It's not for everybody.
I don't disagree.
Personally, I enjoy like old polytheistic cultures. So the fact that they've had that in Egypt, Greece, and Viking controlled England, I've enjoyed that. Like enough so that I was able to look past the
too.
Well, what I'm saying is I like that so much that I was able to look past the very obvious changes in the playstyle that the series has undertaken.
Yeah, but it feels like it's not Assassin's Creed anymore. You could just make another game by that point.
On top of that, I also have the problem of I think leaping headfirst into the mythological, like, yeah, there's just monsters and shit everywhere, really starts.
To be fair, they kind of already did that from Assassin's Creed 2.
I'm going to argue against that they did that, because yes, the Apple of Eden and all that stuff, I will not fault that those are not historical, I'm not going to say that, George Washington did not get an apple and then had to be stopped by a Native American for going crazy. Not saying that. I just feel that it was better handled in those because everything else was more or less normal. And then you had the secret device, the MacGuffin, which was going to be the thing that, really tips it in one way or the other.
I see what you're saying. I think basically what you're boiling it down to is you liked it when it was more contained. You didn't like it when it became more outlandish.
Yeah, I really did not like the fact that, like, the Greek one, Odyssey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where besides the fact that it jumped into the full, here's item levels for your gear. I fucking hate that shit.
Again,
on the XP boosters for a single player game, like, why?
I also agree with that, but I agree. Counterpoint to what you're saying about the item levels entry. They still kind of had that from Assassin's Creed 2. A little different.
Really?
They kind of did. Because you would get weapons that were the same and that were just better.
When you could use any item without having to fully upgrade it from the start. You didn't need.
Well, you can do that in Odyssey too. You don't need a high weapon or a high level weapon to complete the game. It's just going to take you longer. Same with AC2.
Except even in AC2, it wasn't you're not kneecapping yourself.
It depends, because later in the game, some of those guys get so much like they don't have a lot of health, but they have like hidden health, so it takes more hits to actually damage them. So you need the higher level. That is something that I think I get what you're saying, and I don't completely disagree, but I think it's still the same idea that I had from 2.
Maybe then it's just how they represented it that I just.
And it's probably what it
Didn't
is,
like it.
because I'll tell you this: when I was doing game design in college, there were some things like you wouldn't think made a difference, but do. Like we had a basic pill player model. That's usually what you start out when you're making your game. You just have like a capsule shape, and you use that as your characters at first. So when we had the movement speed set, people were fine with it, but when we changed it to like an actual model with animation, people didn't like the speed, even though it was the exact same, because they said it felt too slow or something. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, because they're going off the animation rather than the actual speed.
Exactly. So you change the frame of whatever you're using. It can be the exact same, but if it looks different, it can throw people off. So it's probably almost the exact same thing they did from 2. Maybe a little different. I don't know, because I didn't play Odyssey. But just from the description, it sounds like basically the same idea.
One thing that I thought was cool with Odyssey, and this
say that I feel about it is it felt more like it turned into a looter game. Rather than
I can understand that argument.
That was a product of the
One
time.
thing
I don't blame you for that, Crisco.
One thing I really enjoyed though is that, and this might make me the Flynn Rider with his back against the wall with all the swords meme, but I enjoyed how they incorporated the actual like mythological monsters from the old Greek stories into the game.
I can't say because I haven't played it, but I feel like that's too far a departure from Assassin's Creed's base. But
It's a huge departure until you get to the in-universe description. Because how far through the series have you actually played?
I've only played up to 2, so I haven't gotten that far. But I
Okay,
know a
that's
decent
Black
amount.
Flag.
Oh, yeah, I know a decent amount.
The way that they explain the presence of like the Greek mythology monsters, I admit it's getting close to jumping the shark, like it's speeding towards the ramp, but then they veer off and just drive down the beach with the in-world explanation as to why those creatures actually exist. Because it's not like some fuckery of the Animus, like they are actually there.
I'm curious because it
I'd
really
rather
does sound
take
like
the fuckery of the Animus for that.
Yeah, no, that one is no, like those things actually existed in that timeline, and the in-game lore reason for why they do, I was satisfied with.
I don't know. I just feel like it. From going from the historical fiction that Assassin's Creed is, because that's what effectively was for a while.
yes.
Historical fiction.
Yeah. It's still
Feels like
technically that.
More fiction, less historical.
Correct.
Yeah, but it's still historical fiction.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It is still historical fiction. It's just a bit more dived into the fiction.
Yeah, they're taking a bit more creative license than they did back during the Crusades.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just more of a problem of it being in the Assassin's Creed series. Anyway, say your point, MJ.
I just feel that the way that they have set it up, at least from what I have seen and what little I have played of the new games. I have touched them. I don't count myself as having played them because I barely touched them because I didn't really like them.
Wait, what was the point you were making
I
there?
just don't feel it meshes with the world that was set up.
AJ has had a good AJ's had a good way of dealing with it ever since Black Flag. That is, you suspend your expectation that what you are playing is a quote Assassin's Creed game. Like if you put that just on the back burner and you just tell yourself no, this isn't an Assassin game, it suddenly becomes exponentially better.
That's
But
fine.
then you also have to
when-
bring the argument that was said earlier is why is it even an Assassin's Creed game?
yeah, so
Probably because-
that's fine if you
probably
just change the
because they're-
title.
Yeah, probably because they're capitalizing on the name or the brand recognition.
Correct.
I mean, that's what happened with Skylanders and Spyro, and now Spyro is basically nothing there.
well,
Yeah, because I will be the first to tell you. Yeah, buddy. I will be the first to tell you. I love Black Flag. Absolutely. Like, that's one of those ones that I will go back and play because I just adore that game. It is not an assassin game. It is a pirate game that just happens to feature the Assassin Brotherhood in Act 2.
yeah. So
I'm willing to bend the rules there a little bit for that one because it does a lot more to set up the character. I feel like.
people. I mean, from what
It does.
conversations I've had with people about Black Flag is it is more a pirate game with some with some Assassin's Creed painting on it. So
Yeah,
it's
Edward
okay what they
Kenway is
didn't need to
very
do.
much Yeah, Edward Kenway is a pirate first and an assassin after he's done doing all of his pirate shit. And Valhalla,
not really a
yeah,
pirate.
and Valhalla most recently is, in my opinion, the exact same way. It is a Viking game, and two of your friends just happen to be assassins.
I don't know. For me, it just doesn't mesh in my brain. You know?
Well, look on the plus side. You were playing Odyssey. The Assassin Brotherhood or the Hidden Ones didn't even exist at that point in history.
That's the only reason that one kind of gets more of a pass, but I'm also not really a fan of some of the things that were done in that game. Like, mechanically, I mean.
Oh, fair enough. It's not for everybody. I personally enjoy it.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
You are allowed to like it. Well, it's not. I don't necessarily have a gripe with the games themselves, aside from some maybe mechanic stuff. I have more of a problem with the fact that it's titled under Assassin's Creed when it really shouldn't be.
And see, I'm able to suspend my disbelief there and just not give a shit about that.
That's fine.
The
I
problem
still think that's shameful to the series, though. Not necessarily what you're doing, but just the fact that they are branding it that way. They're using the icon of Assassin's Creed to market it, which is when it's not really Assassin's Creed is my problem.
Yeah.
But you can suspend your disbelief, that's fine, but that doesn't really fix the problem there.
Yeah, and there's certainly an argument for that. Personally, I just like the trip through various parts of the world and varying points of its history. And I've been, like I said, I've been holding my breath for one set in Warring States era Japan ever since you got the katana and the tanto as weapons in Rogue.
To be honest, I've been wanting it too. I just feel it's a bit late. Other games have already come and done what Assassin's Creed does.
I would say don't say better because that game hasn't come out yet. So.
Well, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed in general, as of late.
No, I know. I just thought you were going to finish your sentence with the word "better." Like they
well,
had,
I do think
like other
that,
games had done this, but they did it better. But I was going to say it's not fair to Assassin's Creed when it didn't even come out yet.
Well, I mean that they're in the way in better, which I mean is they've done the Assassin's Creed formula, but better in terms of all of like the games and stuff. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is everything that I think an Assassin's Creed game should strive to attempt to be.
Well, the ghost path of that, anyway.
I don't know. I haven't played or looked into that game, so don't really tell me too much about it because I do want to play it.
No, it's
but I have heard good things about it.
There's a lot of good to be said about it.
The island of Tsushima has officially, the tourist group of Commission of Tsushima has officially made like the developers of the game like if I remember correctly, official representatives of Tsushima or something like that.
There was some accolade that was like they gave the developers some accolade for their representation of the island.
That's always good.
Child, I love you, but the fact that you know what a power switch is on these toys vexes me.
I mean, people are becoming more socially aware of like different groups, so which is
Nate
good.
Fox and Jason Connell, who are both directors on the title, were chosen by the island to become permanent tourism ambassadors.
I think it's good when you represent something correctly and to the country or whatever's approval.
Agreed.
Like, you don't have to make every game it's so accurate, but you know what? Make it accurate enough that like it makes people happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You also got to toe the line of stereotyping and racism, but I feel like people wouldn't know.
Come a long way from that with that.
I was gonna say for the most part it's easy. That's honestly easy enough to avoid. If you, it really doesn't take much research to find out like what this country doesn't like or something like that. Like they don't like this in their representation. So there's
I
weird.
remember when the first. I remember when the first Assassin's Creed came out, Ubisoft caught a little bit of flack because the main character was the only one who didn't have a Middle Eastern accent.
Which is a little weird since he's a Middle Easterner, but...
Which is
I
think that's fair.
And to their credit, they fixed it in later games, like in I think Revelations is the next time you actually see Altair. They fixed the way he talks in that one, but through the whole first game, like this Lebanese assassin operating out of the Middle East is the only guy who sounds American.
I think they definitely learned from that mistake, because I think every other character going forward has had like the accurate accent that they should have.
They did, yeah.
I mean, Ezio's voice actor too was really good, just in general.
Oh yeah, dude, Ezio has one of the, like, it's almost like an Italian version of like an Antonio Banderas voice. Like, it just sounds good.
I'd let him kill me if he talked me sweet nothings as I die.
I said, we're gonna have to do a draft list of sexy voice actors' voices.
Well,
I mean, I will.
as long as you're fine with several of my voice. That's a dangerous line there, Zach. It's a very dangerous ask from me.
Okay, maybe certain genres of games should be omitted from this.
When you name the category as it is, you're kind of inviting that.
No, I think it's fine as long as I can find, YouTube approved voice lines.
Just you're gonna have to put like just a black screen with the word censored on it for half of MJ's list.
It's fine.
Well, one of them may or may not be rants, so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Alright, you're banned. This is why we're opening up the drafts to other people,
Well,
too.
no, because here's the thing, Zach. I can get around your rules now because there's a streamers patch for rants.
Oh, good. Great.
It takes out all the H scenes.
What's even the point, then?
It's actually
I was gonna say that at that point it hardly seems like rants.
Well, rants would be... Rants literally fucks his way across the country, but besides the point.
I was gonna say he's a lover and a fighter.
Yes.
Just like the wolf.
And he also hates...
Exactly. Just like the wolf.
And it's all gone full circle.
But, yeah, no, like, ironically, Rants games, like, actually have good gameplay, and they have really good music.
Where exactly am I going?
Suspiciously good music.
That's one thing I will give, not even just the games, just the whole, like, H scene, is their soundtracks, like, every so often you'll get one that is, like, good enough quality to be in something mainstream, and it always blows my mind when I hear it. Like, okay, this is clearly where the budget is.
Which is like, you take the H scenes out of Rants, and, like, the Rant series could just be a great RPG series.
Yeah, because there was one thing I remember seeing, like, when I was, like, 17, 18, and, like, as soon as the main, like, song kicked in, my first thought was, how the fuck did you get Ayumi Hamasaki?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Ayumi Hamasaki is or was it... MJ, you might know this better than me. Is she still relevant? A very popular Japanese musician.
No,
What's her name again?
I was more confused at
Ayumi
what I was doing.
Hamasaki. Billy, stop poking the TV.
Ah, damn it.
You forgot to turn off the encounters.
Yeah, this is the only time they've done that so far.
I remember she was very big on the Eurobeat scene back in the early 2000s when that was mainstream.
Mm-hmm. You want to know something that she actually did music for? That everyone hates?
What?
Dragon Ball Evolution.
I feel like that movie had potential to be good, but...
Yeah, but then it wasn't. Stop it.
And then Hollywood touched it.
Well, that's what happens.
But from what I know, Ayumi Hamasaki hasn't really done too much.
I was gonna, like, I haven't heard, the newest thing I heard from her, and this is still years ago, so it's not really recent memory, is she did the opening theme for the first Tales of Exilia
she still does tours, but she's doing one this year.
Huh. How much of that is new material, I guess, would be my follow-up.
I don't know, it's a new anniversary thing. She also does she also did the New Year's Eve concert.
Well, good for her then. It's nice to know she's still performing.
Yeah, she's actually done the New Year's Eve concert since 2000.
I say back on the H topic of music. I just wanted to add, Honey Pop has a pretty good soundtrack.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It was pretty popular a couple years ago when it came out. What are you? I think you're free type.
Because yeah, the most recent thing I know Hamasaki did was the opening for Tales of Exilia, and that song I think is called Progress. If you haven't heard that, I highly recommend giving it a listen.
I feel like I have, but I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure you'd remember this one if you heard it.
Probably, but we were talking about this during the last draft list. That one, what was it? Spring or Winter by Beethoven.
Oh yeah, Vivaldi. Nice try though.
Yeah, and I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
though she really hasn't done
I didn't know
anything
by name, but I had heard it.
She also did Sin and Punishment Star's successor, a Wii game.
Actually, now that it crosses my mind, there's there might be a track that you, MJ, may be able to help me find.
Oh.
So I'll have to get with you later and give you the specifics and like what I've been able to track down. But I first got onto this back when LimeWire was all the rage, and you know they never assigned proper titles to the songs that people posted.
Mm-hmm.
So it was some kind of Eurobeat song. The voice sounds kind of like Ayumi's, but a little different. And on LimeWire, it was marketed as something from the Inuyasha soundtrack, which it clearly is not. I would know it for damn sure if I heard it again, but I think the last time I heard it was when I was like 16, and I have been trying to find it for like 12 years and just have not. Like I've hit a dead end every single time. Like I cannot find this fucking song.
Yeah, no, I'll have to. I can try to help.
Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. You hungry, buddy? Okay. Go get your chair. Well, you gotta go get your chair. I'm not gonna do it for you. You can walk now. That means you get to pull some weight.
Get a job, you freeloader.
No, he's got another 16 years or so before I tell him. Actually, no, more like 12.
It depends on where you live and the laws, really.
I was gonna say that there's a lot that can change, like labor laws wise, between now and 12 years in the future.
Didn't they just approve child labor in like Idaho or something like that?
Yeah,
last month or something.
They're taking a huge step back with child labor laws.
Yeah. But at the same time, the kids need money at this point because like you got to start saving up early. Although I feel bad.
Yeah, again, like you create problems to make solutions for.
I know. I'm not saying it is the solution. I'm just making a point.
Yeah, well, if I can avoid that, I obviously want better for my kid.
I think everyone would. All right, we got all that.
You'd be surprised.
Well, all right. I think anyone with the sensible mind would.
Oh, Zach, there you go, underestimating the depravity of humans again. What have I told you about that?
All right. First of all, I said anyone with a sensible mind. Second of all, I still think you're being a little harsh towards people because of the loud minority.
I'm back. Wait,
I know.
what's it about depravity?
No, I am more than willing to concede that the majority of people are good and decent and want to do the right thing by others.
If anything, good people do bad things because of what's set up. But we're not getting into that. That's getting a little too political.
Yeah, that's a whole conversation for a whole other time when the cameras aren't rolling.
And you got yelled at trying to stop that conversation.
But again, if I can avoid it, my son is not going to be one of the marks in Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah, bro. Okay.
Although he could be one of the Fry twins. Let's see. What are you thinking for a snack, sir? Sweet potatoes and what are these, veggie puffs?
Well, looks like things are getting more serious here.
As they do.
As one would expect them to.
To be honest, I don't really know what the military would even be doing besides setting up don't cross tape. Like, this situation is beyond current military technology.
Yeah, like a Digimon invasion, I feel is beyond the JSDF's ability to adequately address.
I feel like at best, aside from going nuclear, most human weaponry could deal with is a champion level Digimon, depending on what Digimon is.
I don't know. Anti-tank rifles
Maybe an
come a long way.
ultimate. Maybe an ultimate, depending on which one. Because like I feel like if Lilymon got shot, you could take the Lilymon down if it hit the right location.
Probably, but anything in Chrome Digizoid armor, forget it.
Yeah, pretty much, because that stuff's supposed to be. I think it's either harder or equivalent to the hardest metal on Earth. I can't remember.
It's the hardest metal in the digital world, anyway.
Yeah, because I think it's equivalent to whatever the hardest material on Earth is, if I recall them.
And that's also dependent on which type of Digizoid you're taking.
I was gonna in terms of tensile strength, titanium is the strongest, but in terms of like actual density, it's tungsten.
Yeah, I think it's basically the best of both worlds in that regard, if I recall correctly. Which I may or may not. But, well...
Translation, you're not punching it.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't punch metal to begin with, for the most part.
Punching through it, I mean.
Well, you should have said through. You did say through. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Later.